Let's go Knights!
Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Knight Spotlight. I'm Lane Glenn, the president here at beautiful Northern Essex Community College in the Merrimack Valley of Northeast Massachusetts, where we have hundreds of talented faculty and staff always engaged in researching and teaching and preparing students for a world of work that is constantly changing. We're in a bit of a different location today. We're outside on our Haverhill campus, standing next to our special new EV police cruiser with a very special member of the Northern Essex Community College community, and of course I'm talking about Winnie and her best friend, and one of ours too, the wonderful Lieutenant Keith Walker, who after spending 25 years on the New Hampshire State Police, joined us here at Northern Essex Community College a couple of years ago as a member of our officer corps and as Winnie's handler and constant companion. Officer Walker, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Let's dive right in. I'm curious, how did you get into law enforcement in the first place? You know, we've got a police academy, we work with the Sheriff's Corrections Academy. We're known as a place that invests in police and public safety training and education, certainly, so it's on our minds a lot. What first drew you into law enforcement?
Well, growing up, my father was a police officer in the town of Dennis, Massachusetts for over 30 years. And to be honest with you, I never really thought that I was going to follow in his footsteps. You know, I saw how difficult the job was growing up. You know, he was gone a lot. He was nights, weekends, holidays, getting called in on your time off. So it really wasn't on my radar. And, you know, I remember when I started to go off to college, I was always involved in athletics in high school, and I thought that I wanted to do something in that field. So initially I went to pursue a degree in athletic training.
What was your sport?
Mostly basketball.
Okay.
Yeah. So athletic training, and then eventually I thought maybe I'd move on to a physical therapy program because, like I said, I was always involved in athletics, and I feel like I was always getting injured, so I was good at it.
A lot of experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to college and started in that program, and I didn't like it. So I don't know what made me do it, but towards the end of my first year, I decided to change my major to criminal justice.
Okay.
And I went home and told my father about it, and his initial reaction was, "You're crazy. Go be a fireman." They're invited everywhere.
Your father, the policeman, said, "Go be a fireman." All right.
Told me, "Go be a fireman."
There's a little rivalry going on there.
They're invited
Yeah,
everywhere,
okay.
and everyone loves them.
Yeah,
Go
all
do
right.
that.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Didn't want to do that. So eventually I got my bachelor's degree from Salem State College in criminal justice. And upon graduating, it was about 6 months out of school, and I got hired as a reserve officer with the Harwich, Mass. Police Department, which is also down in the Cape. And I was only there for about 2 weeks. I was in the academy for them, and I got offered the job full-time in New Hampshire.
Okay.
So I drove over the bridge, which was a big feat for anyone in my family. They're all still down
Yeah.
there. It's a big feat to go over the bridge.
Yeah, yeah.
Went over the bridge, came up to New Hampshire, and spent the next 25 years there. I got assigned to Troop A, which was a blessing because that area, the Seacoast area in New Hampshire, is fantastic. And I did a lot of different things there. I was a field training officer. I was a firearms instructor. Spent over 9 years on the State Police SWAT unit. Eventually became a patrol supervisor, assistant troop commander, and then eventually retired as the troop commander. So I came there in April of 1998 as a young trooper that didn't know anything, and eventually was able to retire as, you know, the commander of the troop. So it was a good career. I'm proud of it.
Well, you should be. Thank you for all of that. I mean, the role of a police officer in a community is an important one. You know, as you may have heard me say to our graduates at the police academy from time to time, it's a role deserving of an awful lot of respect because you're there in some critical moments. So thank you for all that. What attracted you to coming to work in a higher education environment after that period of time in the police force?
It was a difficult thing when you've done something for so long and you decide that, you know, you're gonna leave that profession. And I kind of knew. People always told me when it's time, it's time. And during my last year, I knew it was time for me to move on. And I started to look at some careers outside of law enforcement. And I had some opportunities, but they just didn't do it for me. As much as I thought that I would leave law enforcement in general when I retired, these jobs, I don't know, it didn't excite me. And I still loved law enforcement. And so I started to think, how can I kind of remain in the field but just do something different? So I looked at some jobs at some training academies in New Hampshire. I looked at some colleges in New Hampshire, and then one day I reached out to Chief Hobbs, and we'd worked
Who
closely.
had already landed his dream
He
job.
was already here,
Right,
and we
right.
worked closely together when he was the chief in Hampton,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was the with the state police. And I wasn't looking for a job. I was just looking to see what was the process from transferring your certification
Yeah,
over
yeah.
from New Hampshire to Massachusetts.
Sure.
And he gave me some good advice, and then he said that he might have some opportunities open in the future. And eventually the assistant director job came open. I applied for it. It was a competitive process, and thankfully
Yeah.
I was able to get hired and get the job. But the biggest thing to me was I still knew that I wanted to be active in law enforcement. I
Yeah.
just wanted to do a different kind. And this is totally different than what I was doing.
So let's explore that a little bit. What are some of the differences that you've experienced between the activities that you were involved in New Hampshire and what you've been involved in here? Like you say, I mean, they're both a form of policing and important policing. What are some of the differences?
Yeah, they're completely opposite. The state police is more based on intense enforcement efforts aimed at changing behavior. A lot of times, especially as a young trooper, you're judged and rated based on your activity level. How many cars did you stop? How many arrests did you make? That is not what we want here.
No, it's not. Thank you.
Of course, there are going to be times where we
Well,
have
it's
to
necessary,
do that.
sure.
It's only as a last resort, and we try every other means to de-escalate everything and every encounter that we have here. But they're totally different in that aspect. The other big thing for me was with the state police, I didn't have a lot of chance to have real in-depth community interaction.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of people didn't really want to talk to me a lot when I'm standing on the side of the highway, on the side of the interstate talking to them, and
Yeah.
neither did I, because I didn't want to be standing out there for any longer than I had to.
Right.
And one of the things that drew me here was the chance to be in a smaller community. And I look back to the troop that I was in charge of. We had approximately 50 cities and towns that encompassed that geographical area. Some of those towns, we were the primary law enforcement agency. The other ones, we were mostly the primary backup law enforcement agency, and we had different resources that we could provide to them.
Yeah.
Here, we're responsible for the safety of the visitors, students, faculty, and staff for Haverhill and Lawrence campuses. And we've made a lot of strides in public safety here. We have a lot of things that we still want to do. But the biggest thing to me was just having the ability to be part of the community and just do different things. And it's been since day one when I got here, the people that work here were so welcoming and great. And we do our best with the police department. We have a superb public safety team that goes out of their way to be approachable. We do our best to be present at campus-wide events, and I think we've really integrated ourselves within the college community. And I'm proud of the way that all of the men and women within our small agency have been able to do that. But those were the big things to me. I just wanted to do a different kind of police work because I knew I still loved the profession, and I wanted to be part of a community.
Well, I love the way you described that. I mean, certainly the career that you had in New Hampshire was mostly about responding and corrective action and those kinds of things. And here it's sort of mitigating threats and preventing things from happening and encouraging a safe environment and confidence in people to be on campus, which you do very well. I mean, like you said, the whole department, very visible at everything. I know there's one burning question that anybody watching this video is asking themselves, and if I didn't ask it, I probably wouldn't be doing a very effective job of conducting this night spotlight. Officer Walker, everybody wants to know, what's it like going to work with Winnie every day? Come on.
Well, I was just saying, I can't believe that this is my job now.
Yeah.
She's a huge part of our life, but I guess I would describe it as it's as close to walking around with a celebrity as you can possibly get. I laugh because I'm never late to anything in my life. I've never been late to anything in my life. And ever since I got her, I may have 10 minutes before a meeting and I'll run outside just to, let her outside. And next thing I know, I laugh. I call it the paparazzi because there's people that want to come up and pet her and see her and,
Wait, was that the paparazzi? The paparazzi.
Yeah,
oh,
the
yeah, all right,
paparazzi.
gotcha. I thought that's what you said. Yeah.
So, but that's why she's here. So I probably could do a little a little bit better on my time management. But
I think you're doing what you're supposed to be doing because you're doing
She's-
what she wants to be doing.
Yeah.
And everybody wants her to be doing. It's fantastic. You're right. I mean, she's a celebrity everywhere she goes.
Yeah.
And of course, when Winnie first joined the team, she had some training she had to go through, right?
yeah, she did. She went to some initial training when we first got her as a puppy, just some basic, obedience stuff, trying to get her used to being around large crowds and whatnot. And then again, she went to another school several months later. It was the same thing, another 2-week board and train where they take
Okay.
her for a couple weeks. And
Yeah.
that was really aimed at trying to get her acclimated to being around large crowds and being around people. I don't
Yeah.
think she needs it or needed it, because
Maybe not the crowd
this
thing, just
is-
the don't chew on the shoe thing.
This- that's the thing.
The other form of training.
But what I can say is, she's got the best life here. I think at home it might be equally, if not even better. She's absolutely adored by my family. She goes on runs with us. We take her to the beach. She goes on hikes.
yeah.
My daughters take her to Starbucks for pup cups, and she's living the life.
All right.
But she's done everything that we want her to do as far as relieving stress around campus.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I'll walk into a classroom or an office and people say, "You have no idea how much I'd needed to just see
having her
Winnie
show
today."
up.
So
Yeah.
she's super sweet, and like I said, she's been a huge asset, especially for the police department and the community
Yeah.
policing aspects.
Well, thank you for your presence here, for all you do to maintain that kind of calm and confidence and stress relief, and for showing up every day on the arm or on the leash, if you will, of this fabulous celebrity here, Officer Walker.
She is a
We
celebrity.
appreciate you and all you do.
Thanks
Thanks
you.
for being a part of this Night Spotlight.
Appreciate it.